All right. Here we go, and greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome back to the Inn of Planar Crossroads, and welcome back to... Let me see, I have to update the session. Let me make sure. It's been so long since we played. I'll do announcements while I make sure the session is correct. Welcome back to our gaming sessions with myself and Adonijah, and our father-son game, and it is going to be back in Open Legend. It's been a little bit since we've been able to record a session at all, really, since October, but it's been one since we've for us also. So, oh yes, it is session 7, so I'm going to update that real quick. But the thing that is fun... There we go. The thing that is fun for us is that we get to get back in this and we get to finish up, hopefully, a story with a few sessions of this dark spire that Caesar had found himself in. So, I guess we're going to have to do... Let's do announcements first and then recap. So announcements, we're going to be doing an Open Legend... It's kind of a how-to play series, but it's more like a recap of the rules rather than a reading of the book like we tried with PF2, the Pathfinder playtest. That's probably not going to work out. We'll probably do a... well, I know that video series isn't going to work out, but the one for the Open Legend and the Laws of the Multiverse is what it's going to be called. That one is going to be a recap of different things about the rules as we go through the rulebook, rather than a verbatim thing, so that'll be good and it'll be easily referenceable for people. We're doing that. Lord willing, it'll all pan out well. As far as announcements on the other games, the live games, if I can catch a break every now and then, based on my schedule, I may try to run a session or two of Rise of the Rune Lords or whatever the group wants to try and get back into the swing of playing or looking for. As far as other announcements, I don't really have any, just the normal stuff. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, not Instagram. I don't have one of those. Well, I have one, but I don't use it. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, which hopefully we'll be able to be doing some more things with should we start the live games up again. I don't know. It's been difficult to broadcast that, basically because of internet. What else? I'm not really sure. I may think of things at the end to announce. So let's go ahead and get onto the recap, which I think is important, not just for y'all, but for me, to get back into the swing of what was going on. So, when last we left our hero, he had found himself on this spire, or this thing floating in a dark void with all these broken stuff around it. And because he had jumped through a portal, or he had been rushed through a portal by an NPC, and had found himself here in this floating space, and was able to see that the gravity was kind of subjective, so that he was walking on the bottom portion of the spire that you guys see, but as he moved up and around with his person that was he's like an impromptu party member right now. Caesar's just been calling him Shield Boy or something along those lines. They found that they could walk and find that the gravity subjectively allowed them to go up and come around to the top, or the relative top of the pillar of that they're looking at. So they can see up towards the top of the pillar, and it's way up above them, and there's this gray light that has been glowing around occasionally that lets them see that there is a lot to this pillar, this thing that looks like there's pieces of a world broken apart off of it, pieces of the world that it is broken apart off of it and stuff like that. And it looks a lot like just a tower about the size of what you would characteristically see as a wizard tower or something like that. And it's just a tall, thin spire that is there. And we're exploring that, and as they came over to that other side and kind of came back on it and landed on it, and we're like, whoa, wow. They heard something coming, and it was this, they prepared themselves, and it was this aberrant, weird amalgamation of a pale humanoid, but it's been stretched and morphed, and it had multiple arms and legs that moved it along, and it had a somewhat bulbous body that made it look like it had a thorax of a creature, but the pale skin was splotched and coated with scales in certain areas, and its head and its face weren't matching to the appropriate creature that it should have been, and it was just a really aberrant creature. And they fought this aberrant spider thing, and they made it through. And now we're coming to the point in the story where Caesar and Shield Boy, by extension, have to decide what they're going to do next. So they saw that it had come down there was an archway before them on this dark stone surface that they're on, and it seems to have a staircase going up. And they have to figure out what's going to go on now.
Okay. You said that there was this broken door where we killed it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do I know enough about the creature to turn into it?
You've seen its physical form.
I know that it can shoot webs.
You know things about it, yeah. You know that it can shoot kind of a corrosive web thing, and you kind of did something similar with your roll.
Yes,
last time.
I poisoned it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I turned into this giant spider that was hanging over a ledge and doing this. Pew, 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 pew.
Mm-hmm.
And shot it.
Yep, you trapped it in a poisonous web. But now you've got to decide, now that this thing has been vanquished, what do you want to do? I want
to tell the Shield Boy, as I call him, to wait here, and I turn into a spider and crawl along the ceiling.
Okay.
Around the room.
Okay, at your current alteration level, which, by the way, everyone, is 5, you can shapeshift really easy. Now, shapeshifting at your current level, you can go, I think it's something that's about 2 feet tall is about as small as you can go. So you could be a 2 foot tall spider.
How tall would that be?
That's like this big of a spider.
Oh, that's huge.
That's a big spider. It's a big spider for us. It wouldn't necessarily be a big spider in that universe, but it's a big spider for us.
I turn into a big spider egg and walk around in the room.
A big spider egg?
Yep.
You mean an egg with legs?
Technically, yes, but the legs would be hidden under it.
You want to look like a big spider egg?
Yeah, I want to scout the room out.
Okay. You can change into a 2 foot tall spider egg.
Yeah, like this big spider egg.
The spiders lay their eggs inside of bundled webs.
Oh, then. Okay, then. In that case, I want to, what's the smallest creature I can become?
Well, anything you can think of that's around 2 foot tall or something like that. I'm making sure, but I believe that is the case.
I turn into that monster. What looks like that monster.
Okay. You want to roll to look like that particular monster?
And be able to shoot its webs, yes.
You could probably take some time to examine it and look at it and stuff like that to do that if you want to.
Okay. Also, I'm gonna gut it.
Okay. What are you looking for?
I want to know how it works. So I guess I gut it or something.
That'd be a way to find out. That'd be a way. You can do that if you would like. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, but I want to be careful where I stab the thing. But first I want to take its head off to make sure that it doesn't.
Make sure that it's dead?
Yes, like make sure that it's dead.
Okay.
And not just fainted. So I'm gonna cut off its head.
Okie dokie. So, you probably will need to do...
I'm guessing this thing's hard. Like very
well,
hard.
The underbelly wasn't really all that hard, you found, because it was that soft white flesh. But the outer part of it had scaly type stuff on it, so it made it a little bit tougher.
Okay,
but you're gutting it, you said.
Yes, I'm gutting it to see how it works, so I can transform into it and know how it works.
Okay. The roll you probably were going to go with is logic. So you don't have anything in that, so just roll a d20.
Okay.
And we'll see how well you can reason out that whole process.
A 6.
A 6? Okay.
I also want to ask him, the shield boy, to help.
Okay.
Also, I think we're going to eat that thing.
Shield Boy doesn't seem to have any interest in eating it.
What, eat the
when you
spider
bring
leg?
that up. Okay, he rolls as well. He doesn't roll particularly well. He kind of shrugs and is like, he's mute, so he can't say anything, but he kind of makes it known that, kind of like, I guess I'll help you type thing. But he makes it clear that he's not familiar with this type of creature, so he doesn't know how much he's helping you. He's just kind of helping you.
Got it?
Got it, and stuff like that to figure it out. So
And
he's kind of
also...
he makes faces. He's helping you. You guys are... cutting it open is easy now that it's not resisting, and you've already decapitated it, so there's no way that it, as far as you know, that it could come back or something. So,
unless it thinks through its spider abdomen. Because that's where spiders' abdomen's hearts are. In the abdomen. That
that's
bulb
where
part
spiders'
of the
hearts
back.
are.
So
Okay.
that means it could still be alive, because spiders can technically live without their head for a couple seconds or minutes.
Well, this thing's been dead a minute or two. So you would think that if it was going to be twitchy or something like that, it would have already done it. It's already had its death throes and stuff like that.
I think this was a human creature at once, that a wizard or something like that, something morphed it into that.
Don't know. You do, as you disembowel the creature and try to figure out its inner workings to make a better copy of it yourself, you do find that you know enough about what a human heart really looks like, and it's similar enough to most other sentient creatures' hearts to kind of get an idea of what it would look like. And that heart's in there, but there's also this other part of it that looks like it may be some form of a heart. So there's like 2 hearts, but one looks really weird, and then the whole thing of it looks like it's a mishmash and a joining of different types of things.
In creatures?
And they're molded together. Something you do kind of understand is that they're not stitched together.
Magic.
Well, yeah, that's what your guess is.
Magic.
Because there's not any stitching.
I think they could have used healing on the hearts and combined those hearts together, because I think that's how healing works. It makes the thing good, I think.
That's a possibility. You're not that familiar with that type of magic, so...
Yes,
or that type of stuff, so...
Yeah.
You the person?
Yes.
No.
I'm more familiar with it than he would ever be.
Well,
Probably.
then you can't run off of your knowledge. You have to run off of Caesar's knowledge and what he knows.
That.
So, you look at it and you kind of get the idea, yeah, this thing was probably lots of things, and they were stuck together with some form of magic that you're not familiar with.
It could be binding.
Don't know.
Or mending. Whichever of those two.
But given a few minutes of study, you take probably 10 or 15 minutes to... This thing was a large creature, so you kind of take a fairly thorough examination of it. And it's apparently innards, and you kind of get an idea of what you think things would do, based upon how you've had to transform before, anyway. So you think you can make yourself into a kind of pseudo copy of it, maybe something like it. On the external, you could look pretty much exactly like it. You know how to do that.
Things. I want to be. I basically want the spider things here.
Okay. So as you're examining, I would figure that as you're looking it over and stuff, your face kind of changes and morphs as you're looking it over and examining the head and how it works, and then you kind of practice changing a little bit every now and then when you get to a part that you're understanding better. And so you think you have an idea on how to change into it.
Okay, I tell him to sort of stand back, because this creature's... first of all, I want to sort of hide the body.
Okay. Well, you've got a few options. Remember, you came over the ledge onto this side.
And
so this side has pulled you to it as well. So you guys could either push it off, hide it under some rubble. There was rubble there, so you could do that. You don't know if you push hard enough, it might fly out into the space. You don't know. So
I might turn into a big muscle creature.
Okay.
And I want to pick it up and throw it. See if I can get it out there.
Well, you've seen some creatures that are fairly strong.
Yes, but I want to make my own creature, and I want to make a big muscle creature. A creature that's basically a human, but huge muscly. Like, very muscly.
Okay. So you kind of morph yourself into a hairless gorilla. That's kind of what it would look like if a human got all big and beefy like that.
Like huge arms.
Okay.
And I pick it up and I throw it as hard as I can. And I'm probably going to have to roll for that.
You will. Your alteration lets you change your status up a little bit. And if I'm remembering right, you can alter yourself to the point where you have equal to your alteration in a different stat, if I'm remembering right. So let's say that you've got the strength of a bear. You kind of transform into a bear type level of strength. So that would be equal to your alteration.
Could I sort of roll to try and get higher strength?
I mean, if you try to get strong, if you try to get stronger than your alteration skill is, like a 5, I'm not telling you no, but if you try too hard and you miss the difficulty, then you could possibly hurt yourself, is what we'll say.
Okay, then I will not do that.
Okay, well those are the ones you need to roll for. You gotta roll all 3 of them. For your might. Now
4, 5, 2.
Okay, so what's the total?
11.
11. Do you want to take time to do this, or is this...
It's okay if I take time, because I don't think there's anybody watching. Right? I mean, except for the shield boy. I don't think there's any enemy right now.
Okay.
That's nearby to see this.
Okay, so what was your total?
11.
11. And Shield Boy kind of understands what you're doing too, so he'll help you out and he'll give you an advantage on that, so you can reroll one of your dice again, one of your d6s again.
A 1.
Okay, well, you'll take the better one.
10.
So that's an 11. Even transforming, you kind of, the transformation is not perfect. You kind of got your body out of kilter, so your body was kind of thrown off of balance. You are able to get it out there, and you try to, but it kind of gets caught and flumps on the edge. So you have to push and stuff like that. And as you push, it kind of wants to drift away, and then it comes back down because it doesn't get the right push on it, and your feet are slipping on the gravel, the rubble that's there, so it kind of... But eventually you get it over to the other side. It doesn't float away, but it goes to flops on the other side underneath of where you guys came from.
What?
It's hidden. Remember you guys were on the underside of this spire?
So we put it on the top?
You put it on the side you came from.
So that would be the top from, technically.
Well, that depends where you're standing, remember? Because if you're from where you're standing right now,
find the bottom then.
The tower is the top, and that's the bottom. But if you're on the other side,
it's just two towers
the tower's on the bottom,
together.
And it's on the top.
It's two towers put together. That's all it is.
Maybe. You don't know for sure.
Technically, it's just a bunch of rooms put together. But still. Now that that's done, I want to turn into the beast after I step back from the ledge, because I don't want to fall out there. Okay.
So transforming into it is not really a problem. You're not under any duress, so you can transform yourself, and you are, we said, several feet tall. You're like,
what's its
8
stats?
feet tall or something like that. So you can transform into that thing's as best you understand it. So you transform into it as best as you kind of get it, and it's up there. It's just probably at the edge of your ability to transform. And well, no, because you can get twice your height, I think, if I'm remembering.
Yep.
Let me see. Shapeshift between 1/4 and quadruple. Oh, quadruple the target size. So yeah, you can get up there. You can get that size. No problem.
I'm just thinking about a giant red fire-breathing dragon with red eyes that is huge and has flames on it. That's just what I'm thinking about right now.
Well,
because I want to turn into it, but I can't. There's not enough room.
There's not enough room, and your alteration only gets you so much.
Yeah.
You're not that creature. You're only altering yourself.
a very big-sized creature and do all those look things. Basically an intimidate. But that's not the subject right now.
So now what? You've hid the body, effectively.
I might throw some rubble up there.
Up where?
But where the body is.
So you roll some rubble onto the other side?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can do that. I mean, you and Shield Boy can do that, no problem. You guys have plenty of time, so no need to roll for that.
And then I sort of motion to Shield Boy stay there, and I go into the room. I'll stay there and hide.
Go up the stairs?
Yes, I go up the stairs where it came from.
Okay. So you make your way up and around and cautiously, I'm guessing, going up. Okay, so go ahead and roll me an agility to see the effectiveness of your stealthing.
16.
16?
In total.
All right. You kind of make your way. You come to that opening, that arched doorway, and you kind of look in and you make your way as that creature, looking around and checking things out. You're used to you were not surprised about how your eyesight changes when you change into things, because you've had that happen before. Like when you change into a cat, your eyes are different. You changed into a dog before, and you go black and white with your vision and stuff like that. But this one you kind of see and you get it, and you sometimes will switch back and forth, we'll say, and make me a perception check on what you find.
What's my perception?
You roll a d20 plus your perception.
I have 1 in perception.
Which gets you what?
I'm not 1d4.
A d4. So there you go.
1 and 3.
A 1 and a 3 and a 4. Okay. You look around. You're kind of looking around, and you're coming up this dark stone way, and you realize that some of these stones are dark, and some of them are just gray that have been covered in black junk and stuff like that. Grime would be a good word for it. Over the years, it seems. They seem really old and weathered, and you're looking around, and you're really quiet while you're quiet while you're doing it and stuff, and you're watching the different things that are there. You continue up this staircase, and you'll occasionally see a web, and as you get further and further up, you see more and more webs.
Probably from this creature. It shoots webs.
Looked similar. The webs look similar to what the creature made, so that's a good guess. That's a good kind of leap to logic. There's a hole busted out of one of the sides of the staircase as you go up, and you see that there's a lot of webs in there. You've traveled quite a little bit up the staircase, and it seems to be getting ready to stop and come to a hallway as you're going up in another archway. But right here, something had busted it out, and it looks like there's a lot of this type of webs in there, and there's stuff in there, and there's bodies in there and things like that, and it's probably past victims and stuff.
Do I see anything? Do I see any dark folk?
I mean, you specifically look for dark folk?
Yeah, I just want to look in there and see if there's any dark folk.
Not really specifically that you can tell. Most everything that's in there is really wrapped up, so it's not...
Like, are they as small as...
Some of them are small, as the dark folk would be. Some of them are as tall as you are, though, so it ranges in sizes. You see that little den there?
I want to go back to Shield Boy.
Okay, so you're stopping there. You're stopping there at the opening, or you're going up to where the hallway starts?
I'm stopping there and going back because I want to be more cautious. And I don't want to get into a fight. Okay. Yet.
So before the staircase meets the hallway that's up there, you come back down, and you see Shield Boy. He kind of hops up and grabs his shield, and when he sees you, his shield and his spear, and then he kind of waits and watches this creature that just came down.
Which is me.
Mm-hmm.
And I transform back.
Oh, and he kind of eases up.
And I tell him what I saw.
And he listens, and he listens to you, and he kind of seems to get what you're kind of saying, that there's something up there and stuff like that. But remember, there's a language barrier between you two. You don't speak the same language, and he's mute. So it's hard for him to always understand what you're saying, but you get the idea that he's willing to go up there with you and figure out and see what you're talking about and stuff like that.
So I sort of caution to him to stay a little bit to the wall that the crack is in. Like, to be like this a little bit, because I'm not sure if there's anything in it.
Okay. So you are slowly making your way up that way?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're going to let you keep your unless you want to roll again, we're going to let you keep your stealth roll, and then he'll roll.
I'd like to do another perception thing.
Okay, we'll let you do that
because
when
I
you...
transform back into me.
Okay, we'll let you do that when you get up that way. So he'll roll his agility for sneaking about. Okay. So y'all are right close to each other on your sneakiness. And then we'll let you roll another perception. We'll say that you get all the way up there. There's no other stops on this fairly steep, dark staircase. There's always this kind of gray glow, the really dim twilight-style glow that's around stuff. But it's the same outside as it is inside, so it doesn't seem to be anything different to these stones. But there's you kind of get like this glow that way.
Can I turn into a glowing, something glowing that illuminates more light?
Can you make your skin glow through alteration, you mean, or something like that?
Like, can I make myself something that can glow, that gives off more light? Do I know anything like that?
You've seen firefly. Let me see what you would have seen in your background. You've definitely seen fireflies.
No, I don't want to be a giant firefly. There's something else in there I'd definitely want if I was a giant firefly.
You have...
Like, oh boy, lunchtime.
You have seen... there's this one temple there in the Crossroads that has a... It has a person in it that you've never been introduced to. You just kind of see them in passing. But their skin glows. And they're bald and their skin glows. And their eyes are bright and are white and stuff like that. But their skin glows this kind of orangey bronze style color. It's not really bright, but you've seen it. You've seen that creature have that. You figure you can imitate something like that.
I want to become a lantern.
You want to be a item?
Yeah.
Wait,
no, I need another levels in my I need to be able to do elements.
Well, that's power level 6. Right now you have power level 5.
How many more things do I need? What points do I need?
Well, you need to get another experience for sure.
How do we get experience?
No, I'm not going to just give you an experience.
I said how.
Oh, I give you experience by you doing certain things in the story.
Oh. Okay.
But it's pretty...
Daddy, I have armor.
Yeah, you've got armor on.
Why is my armor 0?
Oh, that armor? No, not that type of armor. You've got a guard rating, but you don't have any armor on, if that's what you mean.
Yes, but why? I have armor on. Why don't I have any points in armor?
Oh, we didn't put your padded armor in here. That's why.
That's what I got. I got that
Light.
in the beginning.
So there you go. You got a 16, not a... You got light armor on. So you got a 16, not a 15. But...
Okay, so I turn into something. I make my skin glow, like illuminate light.
Okay. So you do that.
Do I need to roll?
Not for... You're not under any kind of... You are under stress, but there's no... That's not a very big change that you have to make to yourself.
I'm just making my face glow. Or my skin glow. Or whatever they call it.
Okay. So you kind of give your skin this luminescence as you glow. And you can see a bit better now. You weren't having really trouble before,
Yes,
but it
I
was
just want
dim.
to see better. Examine the stones, too.
Okay. The stones look like that they're worked stones. They aren't naturally this shape. Someone's have shaped them into blocks for building and stuff like that. Like you would see
bricks?
well,
sort of like bricks, but stone?
more like castle style level of stones. These are big stones that have been shaped into big squares and rectangles to be used for work and building a castle, or whatever this is. This tower, basically.
This?
Something like that. So, you guys make your way up the stairs. You've got yourself glowing a little bit. You can see that this is a fairly wide hallway, which explains why the creature might wanted to have moved up and down this hallway and this staircase, because it's a good 10 feet each side, which allowed it to move back and forth through fairly easily. And you make your way up this steep staircase.
I'd like to look in the hall.
Okay. You get up there, and you guys are...
I caution look in there, okay?
Okay.
Even though that's probably its nest. And there's probably babies in there.
Don't know.
Baby egg things.
Well, you make your way and you kind of peek around and look in there. You've made your way up, purposefully avoiding some of the webs because you know that its webs seem to have poison in it. So you kind of look around.
But if I was it, well, I tell him that I'm going to transform. Right? Well, to stand back. I want to transform into that monster thing.
Well, your skin will stop glowing then.
That doesn't really matter to me. I just want to... If I am it, its poison shouldn't affect me. So I should be able to clear the webs by going through them. Because I wouldn't be...
Well, they're not blocking anything. They're not
Yes,
blocking
but
your way.
I would be able to... If I have if I'm able to use its poison, if I am it, I should be able to resist its poison.
I understand what you're saying. You
Because
think that
I'm
makes sense.
It. If
So,
I'm it should have, it should be able to resist its own poison.
I understand what you're saying. So you want to transform back into that thing?
Yep.
Okay. So you transform back into that thing. You guys are right there by the opening.
And I slowly walk in.
Okay. So you kind of make your way in. You're not used to being this type of creature, so you kind of step on some of the webs that are sticky, and they kind of stick a little bit to you, but it's nothing that you have to really get upset about. You just kind of have to pull a little bit harder. It makes the webs shake and stuff. But other than that, you make your way in. It looks like this creature has built a tunnel with its web, which you know is poisonous, and it leads...
I'd like to tell Shieldboy to avoid the webs.
Well, it looks like the staircase isn't covered this way, but this particular hole that it's made for itself, this home it's made for itself, it's circular, like and it looks like a funnel. It gets a little bit tighter as you go further down, and then as you watch and you kind of look, it's got bags or sacks of either people or things for food that are kind of stuck along the way, and
So basically that's its pantry.
pretty much. And that tunnel gets a little bit tighter and tighter until it gets about to where you'd have to squeeze through as this size of creature. So would you want to squeeze through that and go down into this lower part that you're coming into, or do you want to stay up at this part? Or
I'd like to make myself a little smaller.
A little smaller version of it?
Yes, a smaller version of it so I can go through it. I want to make it about 1 foot less than its height, so about 7 foot.
Well, no, it's a large creature, so you can sneak. It's not a big deal. You just shrink down to a medium-sized creature, is what you're saying, to where you can move through there easily.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you shrink down to a size that you're more familiar with, and you make your way through that without squeezing, through that funnel without squeezing. Now, Shieldboy hasn't followed you.
I told you I wanted him to follow me.
Okay, he knows that that webs are poisonous.
Yes, and I wanted to clear them.
You want to clear the floor of webs?
Yes, I wanted to make it so he could walk and come along to see if there's anything so we can go down there together.
Okay, so we'll back up a little bit. You look at that there's that funnel that leads down and stuff, and then you come back and you try to start clearing things away. You start clearing things away from the floor and stuff, and he kind of helps you as he can with his spear.
And his spear becomes poisonous now.
Well, maybe. But he kind of helps you as best he can. As you guys are moving it, you see that there is some floor underneath there, but some of the floor is held together with the stone, with the web. Because as he kind of pushes it with you and some of it gets cut, a stone, one of the large stones fall out and there's no floor there. And then there's still floor over here, but it looks like this web was put here before the stone started to really fall, and now it's been holding them up there. So if you start to move more out, you may or may not find a walkway for him to use.
I would like to make a bridge out myself for him. Well, I'd like to become a smaller creature and let him ride on me, because that's... So I'd be able to step in them, but he wouldn't be touched by him.
Okay, so you want to let him ride on your back. You want to shrink down to something closer to the size of a horse or something like that?
Will I be able to fit through there with him on me? Without webs getting him on me?
If you guys are careful, then you could probably get past it. He's got a very big shield that he keeps. So
I tell him to put that on the top of him.
Okay.
And his spear facing backwards.
Okay. So he kind of doesn't like the idea of having to ride around on this weird looking creature, even if he knows it's you. But he does. And he gets on your back.
Does he like how slimy I am?
The creature wasn't slimy, but it was cold. It felt
I warm
cold.
myself up a little bit.
I don't know if that's going to make him feel any better or feel worse.
I just make myself feel warmer.
So he's on there, and he's riding on your back. So now you want to go down in the funnel area? Mm-hmm. Okay. So you go down, you go down there, and you go down through the curve of the funnel of the web, and you start to come out, and as you do, you make me a perception check.
There's probably something down there.
You need to add something. Perception. It's right there.
Perception. 1d4?
Mm-hmm. There you go.
It's in a 4. 14.
14?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So we'll let him roll this as well. His perception is just a straight. Okay. So you guys look around, and he's kind of watching behind you. He seems to be preoccupied making sure that nothing's coming behind you guys. You look around.
That's why I wanted his spear facing that way.
So you look around, and it seems like this thing has made a little funnel that goes down into a large, somewhat egg-shaped.
So sort of like a snake, or an armadillo, or something like that.
Well, something like that. They've made them. It seems to have made itself a den spot right here, that it is large, and it looks like there's things inside the web and stuff like that. And
are there egg-looking things?
No, it doesn't look like eggs.
I want to pop it.
It doesn't look like something to pop. It looks like there's things, like items or pieces of things or bits of broken stuff that's all in the web.
What does it look like?
Well, with your perception, you kind of see like, well, there's a candlestick. There's some rubble over there. There's a plate over there. Everything's really covered up. It looks like a mishmash and a bunch of different things. Like, you got a regular candlestick over here for a single thing, and then there's like a candelabra up high, up there, stuck in the relative corner. Not really a corner, because it's kind of dome-shaped, an egg-shaped room that it's made for itself.
It put those items there?
It's really big. It's a really big room. So it's
put those items there?
It seems to have, because they seem to be purposefully placed.
So it looks like it was having a collection.
As best you can tell, that might be something that it was doing.
Now I feel kind of bad for killing it.
Well, I mean...
It was probably just protecting its stuff.
Well...
And trying to get food.
Maybe that one. But there are lots of body bags, sacks up there. So,
that's its food, because it's technically Bart Spider.
It's something.
And why would it have a plate? What,
you don't know?
Cut up stuff and put it on a plate? That doesn't really seem like its style. Does it look like anything?
What do you mean?
Does all this stuff look like anything? Like a shape or anything?
Oh, like if you step back and you look at it all together, does it look like a shape? No, it doesn't look like that's called a. It doesn't look like a collage or anything like that. It looks just like it's got a bunch of stuff in it on its web. Some of it's grouped over here and some of it's bundled over there.
So it was organizing?
It looks somewhat organized as far as... It looks organized in a way that a creature might organize different things that look the same together. Like a bird finds something shiny, like a crow that finds something shiny and puts it in its nest with other things that are shiny.
Yeah,
so it'll put it in one corner of its nest.
Crows really like shiny stuff.
Crows like to collect shiny stuff. It's kind of like that. That's kind of the idea you get. That it's collected things,
Crow brain.
And it puts it over there, and then collects other things that look this way, so it puts it over there.
Crow, spider, human brain.
You don't know.
Because I cut its head off.
You can't identify different brains just by cutting its head off.
But you just put the tiny little spider brain right in there, the big brain, the other brains of the big brain and everything.
You wouldn't be able to tell that, but okay.
Wait, do spiders even have brains?
Yeah, they have a brain type system. But
nerves.
That's what you find there. And that seems to be where this particular little funnel stops. You don't see any other outways or anything.
Is there any, like, things that we could collect in there?
Well, your perception mainly found that there was a bunch of stuff in the web. It might take a while to go through all the stuff that's in there.
Can I start with the shiny stuff?
How do you know it's shiny? I mean, it's really just gray in here. There's that twilight type of stuff going on. And it's pretty dark in here.
Can I make my skin glow as this creature? Like, change it up a little bit?
You probably can. It's not gonna affect your transformation at the moment. There's no real duress that you're under that you can tell, so yeah, you can make yourself glow a little bit.
Okay, I'm gonna make myself glow to add a little bit to my perception and help me see a little better.
Okay.
See if I can see anything that we could use.
Okay, so you kind of make yourself glow, and when you do, there's a glimmer, a shimmer starts on the bottom and on the sides, and then as you get brighter, the shimmer starts to get brighter and brighter. And you see that your the light that you're making is reflecting off of all these little things that it has sprinkled in through its web.
Does it look like anything?
Now that you can see better, you see that, yeah, there's these candelabras and this stuff like that, but some of them are silver. Some of them, you see different pieces of what looks like gold spread all through the place, all through it, and it looks like this thing has taken lots of different shiny things and brought them in and
to its nest.
Into its nest and made it really
basically
sparkly.
A crow brain.
Well, you look at it, and because you have light now and aren't just looking around in the dim or dark, you are able to see that yes, there are knick-knacky things that aren't of real value, but there's also some swords are in here.
What do they look like?
Shields and some armor and stuff like that.
What type of armor?
Most of it is not exceptional quality, but it's not bad either.
What do I see any symbol on the armor?
Any
or
symbol?
Swords?
You do. You see the Crossroads symbol. The symbol for the town of Crossroads.
And that's what I was looking for.
So.
I want to take it.
The shield? Because that's the thing that has it on it.
I'd like to take the shield, one piece of the armor there, and one of the swords.
Okay. So you kind of pull that off, and you start to hand it to.
He can't hold it.
Well, that's right. He can't. So he doesn't take it. I was about to say that, but since you remember that, that's good. You don't try to hand it off to him.
I sort of just hold it with one of my arms.
Okay.
And I want to take it back up to that one spot and examine where we woke. I wanna go to where I want to put it in a place that we can come back to and get it to show the people from Crosstown.
Okay.
And so I ask him if he. I asked Shield Boy if he can. If he has anything to get the poison off of it, like a potion they can put on it. What's that? I mainly want the shield though, the shield and the sword.
As far as getting the web off, he doesn't have anything that can do that. You're messing with the webs fine as the creature, so.
But if I was something else, I'd die.
Right, but
start having to do saving rolls.
The web on this is not the web on the shield. Like the stuff you picked out, it wasn't really heavily tied in there. It seemed to like for the things to move and dangle. Like we like to have little crystals hang up that have the different sides on them, and they reflect out the light. They reflect out the rainbows. It seemed to be doing something similar.
Except there's no light to do.
Well, you didn't find a light, right?
Unless it was illuminating. But it wasn't when it bought us. Okay, I want to see if I can make it to where we can cover it and not be in what Shield Boy, as I call him, or maybe he's a shield rider. It'd be amazing if he had a horse.
He does not have a horse.
If he had a horse in the past.
You don't know.
I said if. It'd be amazing if.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to wrap it in my rope.
Well, remember,
yes.
Like I said, you are touching the webs right now as the creature without any problems. There's no real reason to leave the web on the shield, right?
Yes, I want to take it off.
Then take it off.
And in case the poison's still on the shield, I want to wrap it in. I want to put something that he can touch around it.
Okay.
So he can hold it. Mainly the inner part, so he could use that shield in case he needs it.
Based upon what you've seen, the poison itself seems to be like this kind of oily substance. So
it could be washed off.
Kind of, you think, maybe.
I ask him if he has any water or a liquid that will do it without harming.
He shakes his head. He makes the motion of pouring stuff out and then shrugs.
Do I have anything like that?
Well, you had some rations and stuff like that. You probably had a water skin with you. I think we touched on that before.
I want to use that to sort of do the inside of the shield.
Okay.
But I want to make... never mind, I'll just do that.
Okay. So you kind of clean it up and stuff like that. You've found a clue, and you've cleaned the things up to where they can be handled, we'll say. Mm-hmm. And you found a clue to what this creature was eating, and now you've come back to the opening of the web den of this aberrant spider that you fought.
Spider?
And you're out. Aberrant spider. Aberrant means not normal or different from the norm. Usually when talking about monsters. So it's a monstrous spider, an aberrant spider. Mm-hmm. And you come to the opening again of the den that it had made for itself, and you're back to being Caesar, and you've got it set up to where it can be handled and stuff like that.
I am? I thought I was a creature.
Well, you're the creature when you were doing that.
Mm-hmm. And I I hand it to him. See if first, I want to touch it myself with, sort of turn
you as Caesar.
Yes, I want to turn my hand into my hand and touch it.
Well, it won't change anything because the rest of your body would still be the creature.
I give it to him then. I just wanted to be cautious.
Okay, so he kind of holds it. Seems to be okay with it. So
I give him the armor.
Okay.
The chest piece.
Okay, to wear or just to...
He can wear it if he wants because his tattered leather armor, it probably isn't as protective against piercing things as that metal armor.
He kind of looks at it and he's not sure about putting it on yet. He kind of gives you the idea of maybe he'll put it on. He's not decided yet because he's not. Again, the stuff looks tattered and beat up, but he doesn't. Even after the battle and stuff like that, he's slowly seems to be getting his gumption back.
Gumption?
His vitality, his strength, his health, whatever you want to say. He slowly seems to be getting that back some. So...
Now that I'm here?
Not necessarily, just he seems to... Like the cuts and the stuff like that he had, those seem to be slowly going away. Quicker than you would expect for normal human stuff.
Because he's probably not a human. He's probably a mixed breed or something like that.
So, but you guys find yourself, you and him, kind of look back down the stairway together. You kind of like back up the stairway towards the new hallway that you see there in the gray. And that's where we'll cut it. To see which way you go. Wait, did I give him the sword? You said you gave him the stuff to keep track of.
Did the sword say anything?
Did it say anything?
Did it have any markings on it?
Not really, but you recognize it that it's the style of sword that a guard of Crosstown would use.
Does the armor have it? Because the shield has it.
The armor was just... Most of the guards at Crosstown just use generic armor. They don't have a specific armor. What they would have is a tabard or something like that, a over drape that they would put on the front of their armor, and it would have a head hole, kind of like a poncho, but it only covered the front and the direct back, and it would have the symbol of it on, as far as chest stuff.
Okay.
But their shields do.
Does the inside of it have a name or something?
You can look next time.
Why?
When we come back. So.
Oh, there's probably a clue in there.
Who knows? You've found the clues now, though, so you know that you're at least somebody from Crosstown is here at some point. So now We just have to let you get to another.
Wait, it took the armor off those people. How do you know how to do that?
You don't know? But for now,
No.
we hope you had a great time listening to Addie. We'll hopefully get back in the swing of things, have some more action next time or something like that. And hopefully you enjoyed just seeing them explore and get that the visuals in your mind were good enough that you were able to visualize what was going on. So, anything you want to say to the people before we go?
Goodbye.
Okay.
And have a great time.
So,
at whatever time you're watching this.
Okie dokie. As always, do have a great day. God bless and enjoy. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Facebook. We already said Facebook. All the places, YouTube, stuff like that. If you would like what you've seen and you want to support us, you can do that on Patreon or Subscribestar.
Also, remember that we're not doing this in Misadventures in the Southern Colony.
Right, this is Misadventures Continued, which is what it's titled. All right, have a great day. God bless. Goodbye.
Bye. This content was made possible by travelers and viewers like you. Thank you.